diverse talents for the future of Europe. I will start with a positive attitude. Diversity is hot. Even today, so many people from so many different countries are assisting to this event. Even in a cold day, snowy day, we are interested in diversity, and I think it's worth telling it. I am the president of UNITEE, the European Turkish Business Confederation. We represent almost 60 associations from 20 different countries, more than 10,000 entrepreneurs, and 2,000 business professionals. We call them not anymore the immigrant entrepreneurs or immigrant professionals. We call them the new European entrepreneurs and new European professionals. As we have seen in this short video before, in just few generations, immigrants, or what we call at UNITEE again the new Europeans, have already achieved a lot. I sincerely believe they can achieve much more and become vital drivers of the European economy if we are able to equip them with the skills they will need in the future. And we need these skills. I don't need to tell you the economic challenges Europe is facing today. The current financial crisis, which threatens the very existence of the European Union, came upon us without warning. But we, the new Europeans, are not dissuaded by the crisis. On the contrary, we make it our mission to offer creative and innovative solutions to the economic challenges which befall Europe both today and in the future. Only by celebrating diversity, we will be able to foster long-term global prosperity by integrating strategies for economic success, environmental quality, and social equality, what we call in Europe 2020 ambitions, a smart, social, and sustainable Europe. Today, I would like to touch on a number of issues which are close to my own heart, personally, and also central to the mission of the organization of which I am the president. I will explain to you why UNITEE regards the subject matter of this conference as being so important and so vital. I will also talk a little bit about the European Commission's Europe 2020 goals, which set out some very ambitious and yet very achievable goals for the next decade in the area of education. I will also outline what action I believe needs to be taken to achieve those goals. And finally, I will discuss the critical role that educational initiatives such as this one will play in ensuring Europe's continued competitiveness in the years and decades ahead. This conference is only the beginning of a dialogue between educators, politicians, policymakers, academics, entrepreneurs, and civic society activists who all sense the urgent need to act now to ensure that Europe is best prepared to deal with the challenges it will face as the century progresses. I strongly believe that we need to take aggressive and unified steps together in order to ensure that in 2020 our workforce is prepared to keep Europe strong and competitive. But rather than just talking about the challenges we face, we are doing something more at this conference. We are taking the initiative to find and propose real solutions. The speakers we will hear from later today and tomorrow each have a unique perspective on the challenges we face, and each will present their own ideas, which I for one look forward very much to hear. We have a deep interest in this subject. This is why we decided to support and help organize this conference. Our mission is to help new European entrepreneurs and business professionals to expand and grow their business into new markets. But like any other European business, they cannot do this in the long term without the skilled employees to make it possible. The decisions taken in regard to our education system today will have a direct bearing on the business world of tomorrow. Because, quite simply, today's children are tomorrow's entrepreneurs and professionals. A child in school today who can combine imagination, creativity with self-confidence and intellectual know-how could become the next Bill Gates in 10 years' time. Just think about that for a moment. The civic society initiatives we will hear about later today are the product of new Europeans who care passionately about the country in which they live and who want to ensure the best for their children's future. We want to make an end to the myth of retour. We will not go back to our countries of origin. We are the new reality here in Europe. We are full European citizens. But why do we call ourselves New Europeans? In Europe in general, some politicians, scientists, and certain elements in the media use the term immigrant to describe people whose families may have come to Europe more than 50 years ago. When, however, will this description as an immigrant end? I sincerely believe that this mentality has to change. This is the reason because I am now so, how can I say, je le dirai en français, ému. In UNITEE, we avoid the phrase immigrant as the majority of our members are second or third generation European Turks holding citizenship of their respective countries and are therefore not immigrants in the strictest sense. We therefore prefer to use a description which reflects our membership more accurately. The European Commission's Eurobarometer Survey 2011 defines New Europeans as people who live in the European Union and have connections with more than just the country where they live. New Europeans, again, will not go back to the country of their origin, and their future is in Europe. But they are also the future of Europe. Therefore, we are here today, a diverse community of Europeans, united by our common heritage. Europe is our home, and Europe is our future. And more importantly, our children are Europe's future. We are not here today to talk exclusively about the problems in our education system. On the contrary, we are here to discuss and propose realistic solutions. The European Commission's Europe 2020 goals set out in very clear and realistic terms exactly what needs to be achieved in the next 10 years if Europe is to remain prosperous and competitive for the future. The Europe 2020 goals are ambitious, but nevertheless crucial ones. But one thing is key to the achievement of all of them: education. After all, if we are going to have a realistic chance of having 75% of our 20 to 64-year-olds employed, then our educational system must ensure that they are equipped with the skills necessary to compete in the labor market, and especially the future labor market. There is little point in the European Union investing 3% of its GDP in research and innovation unless we have trained scientists and engineers to make use of these funds. Those same scientists and engineers will play a leading role in developing new methods of achieving the targets on energy efficiency, as an example. As for combating poverty and social problems, well, as the French poet Victor Hugo once said, "He who opens a school door closes a prison." According to the Netherlands Bureau for Economic Policy Analysis, education increases the probability of being employed for almost all groups. Education is the key to tackling so many of the problems we face today, from integration to social exclusion, even to unemployment. But we must quickly learn to think outside of the confines of the educational system of which we ourselves are a product. Our educational system was designed for a monocultural society, where the primary differences between students were socio-economic ones. Unfortunately, that inequality still exists today in our system, but this has now been joined by enormous cultural and ethnic diversity, which presents an even greater challenge. It is a sad fact that new Europeans are less likely to enter a university or complete higher education. This has a direct impact on their ability to compete in the labor market for high-earning jobs. This is an unfortunate fact, but it is a challenge that can be overcome. Europe has changed immeasurably in the past 50 years. We saw it in this field. So, let's just imagine for a moment what Europe will look like 50 years from now. The Berlin Institute for Population and Development published a study recently on changing demographics in Europe. The Institute's findings, which are quite alarming, show that Europe will experience significant demographic change amongst its population as the century progresses. By the year 2050, the population of Europe is set to decline by 8.3%, while in every other region of the world it will rise. In addition, the average age will increase from 38.9 years to 47.3 years. Cultural and ethnic diversity in our societies is sometimes seen as a challenge for our public institutions, but at the same time it is an enormous opportunity for our economy. In Europe, many years ago, we opened our national borders and our citizens can now travel, work, and do business freely in any of the EU's 27 member states. For an ambitious entrepreneur, interaction with other cultures is now a fact of life as well as a necessity. The internet, low-cost air travel, and supportive government programs have all made investing in foreign markets all the more easy. All that remains to stimulate business growth is linguistic and cultural barriers. And so here we see where the value of an educational system which embraces diversity can play a key role. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it has been an honor to speak to you here today. With an innovative and adaptive educational system, unemployment, social exclusion, and intolerance can all become things of the past. I am thoroughly looking forward to the rest of this conference, and I look forward to meeting you all and getting to know you in person later on in the day. Thank you very much for listening.